So we have for those that can't make it today. But yeah,
Rock
Stu,
and
I guess take it away and let's rock and roll.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for coming today. So lead nurturing, especially in today's age and with the phenomenal CRM products like what you have with Grow and the capacity of that to play with your member management software, PushPress, if you are a PushPress client, but there's plenty of obviously third-party CRM software out there. That is the tool that is still, from my experience, as I walk around the US and interact with gyms, go there as a customer, drop in, that very few gyms are actually using. It is by far one of the most powerful tools in your entire arsenal of software and SaaS products you pay for. The CRM is king. When I first started using a CRM, the first one I ever used was called Scipio. I don't know if anyone here is old enough to remember Scipio. It was a text message platform, mass sending type thing. That was as good as it got. And then really good CRMs kind of hit the scene. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is lead nurturing, is nurturing a lead, someone who gave you name, email, and phone number so that you can complete the first sale, which is a prospect, getting them to come in your door. And then let's say they don't buy that day, right? Because maybe, they just didn't buy, or maybe you have a 1-week trial offer or something similar, right? So you have to nurture them continually as a prospect. So now it becomes prospect nurturing. Well, they eventually buy, hopefully. And then what are you doing after that with your CRM? You're then going ahead and doing customer nurturing. You're essentially keeping touch points and maintaining a relationship with them via text and email and phone call and in person. The CRM allowing you to leverage automation technology for 2 of those, okay? Text and email. So we get into this just to understand the importance of lead nurture. We have to understand the buying cycle. I believe I've spoken about this either in other courses here in PushStart, or maybe on the very first webinar we had, we discussed, but we have awareness, which is a lead. That's the first stage before someone buys anything. Become aware of the brand or the service or the product, right? Generally, they will opt in to learn more about it via lead submission. Then they are considering, so, okay, I'm going to send my name, email, and phone number to the gym because they have some kind of trial offer, but now I'm going to go check out their social. I'm going to go check out their website. I'm going to go look at their Google business listing, look at the reviews, see where it is in relationship to my house, my work. Now I'm in the consideration phase. I'm actually considering giving them my money, even though I have not walked in the doors yet. Now I walk in the doors, I do that trial class or take that free week. I'm still in the consideration phase. And this is where a lot of lead nurturing kind of becomes prospect nurturing at that point, which we're going to discuss. And hopefully we get them to the end state, which is purchase a customer. That funnel image right there, if you guys have ever ran the numbers on how many leads you get, to how many prospects you get, to how many customers you get, this is obviously showing a 10% drip. Okay. Now that'll vary depending on your market, how engaged you are in your marketing. Are you doing paid ads, organic only, whatever it may be? So not everyone's going to deal with kind of a doomsday scenario of 10, 10, 10 all the way through. I actually see more optimistic numbers from most markets in the micro gym, boutique gym community. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea. You got to get so many people to be aware of the brand. And then you got to get enough of those people through lead nurturing. Remember, when they're a lead, they're just name, email, and phone number. You don't know a ton about them. That's what we're talking about today. How do you get to know more about them and get them to create a relationship with them and almost get them to about 90% of the way closed, and to get them to come in as a prospect and then close them that last 10 or 5%. All right. So lead nurturing step by step. If we were just to break lead down into an acronym, all right, I know how much everyone loves acronyms. This is essentially what we would want to start with. When you're working with a lead, there's an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you're asking questions. He or she who asks questions is in control of the conversation. Next time you get pulled over by a cop, tell me who asks more questions, you or the cop. Next time, the cop. Now, next time you want to manipulate your significant other into going to the restaurant for dinner that you want, I promise you ask more questions than her. You can, if you're witty enough, you can bring the conversation around like an interrogation table, an episode of SVU, and get the right answer that you want out of somebody. So your first step in lead nurturing is all question-based. Who, what, where, when, why. And you should be taking notes. So this is literally digital. This is not in person. You're at your CRM. Maybe if you don't have a CRM currently, you were doing this by hand on your own phone with text message. I highly don't recommend, or you're doing this by email or phone call, but you're getting all this information. Some of the basic ones I want to point out. Why are you contacting us? right? Not in like a rude, like, why are you calling me, rude, but like, hey, just out of curiosity, Sally. So thanks so much for calling. Why'd you contact us? How can we help today? Oh, well, I don't know. I'm just looking at maybe doing something a little bit different, workout wise, whatever it is. Yeah, I'm just, looking at gyms in the area. Great. Do you currently work out anywhere? That's a question a lot of us don't ask. Where are you currently working out? How many of you guys have ever gone through lead nurture, got them in the door, and then went to close and like, yeah, but my Orange Theory membership still has 6 months left on it. And you're like, how the hell did this chick not tell me she was already still a customer at Orange Theory? Because you didn't ask, buddy. You did not ask. So always ask, why are you contacting me? All right. Where do you currently work out? Which will lead to this place, or I don't currently work out, or I just left my gym. Now you know where she's at. Right? If she's still in a contract and membership somewhere, you have an idea what to expect as an outcome. If she just left the gym, she's probably on the prowl and now looking. And if you do it right, you could be her next gym. And then ultimately, great. So why didn't you stay there? You said you used to work out at Orange Theory. What happened? What if she tells you, oh, I hate cardio and I hate lifting weights, and you're a CrossFit gym? You're like, that's kind of 50-50 what we do here. It's going to be a problem. Maybe you would refer her to a Pilates studio at that point, or a yoga studio, but you got to ask why she left that gym. And then essentially, what are you looking to do in the future with your body? What were you looking to accomplish with us? So just a couple big ones to really ask when you're learning. The next one is educate. Now, educate gets a little carried away. And not to pick on my CrossFit gyms, but you guys love to chit chat about, constantly varied functional movements of high intensity and anaerobic this, and just a ton of jargon that will never sell anybody because it confuses them. And those who are confused don't buy. So education is essentially, once you've gathered all the information necessary, they've probably left you with some opportunity for you to lay down some nuggets. Yeah, I used to go to Orange Theory, but the monotony of just like, I felt like I was doing the same 3 things. I felt like I was doing the treadmill or that bubble rower. And then like I was, doing some dumbbell stuff. And that just got really boring for me. Okay. Now that a problem at our former gym was boring. How can you educate them how your thing isn't boring? Like, well, the good news is here, Sally, is that probably on a piece of paper, I couldn't write down every single exercise we do here because we constantly are changing things up. I didn't have to go into the minutia of constantly varied. I just said, we're always switching it up. And now I've solved that problem. Okay, I'm not going to get bored here. So you need to educate them, but not based on your desire to talk about your unique belief in fitness and how your classes run well. And on Tuesdays, we have a 45, 3-to-1 rest work ratio, blah, blah. She doesn't need all that. She only needs the education based on the problem she gave you. And if you're sitting here and you're like, oh, I don't really know what the problem is, you got to go back to the first letter. You didn't learn enough. You didn't learn enough. Here should be very easy. You should be able to highlight on your questionnaire. And you guys, good, like you guys will get this PDF. Take this, add questions to it your own, and highlight the ones that she really gives you good answers and juicy answers to. And then you come here and educate her. I said, like, well, I haven't done anything because I've been really afraid of getting hurt. My mom hurt her back at a group fitness gym a while back lifting weights. So I didn't wanted to. You highlight that one. Now you come over and educate her. Well, the good news, Sally, is here is we have a 12-to-1 coach to member ratio. I mean, for every 12 members on the floor, we have a coach dedicated to ensure that that doesn't happen. Additionally, we have everyone start with 3 one-on-one sessions to get them going before joining group class. So that all the education's there and no one even knows you're brand new in the studio. So again, only educate them on the problems that they needed solved, that they presented to you in the learning side of this equation. Then you got to anticipate. All right. So the 2 parties have now exchanged information. Okay. Now you've got to be in a position to know and, predict with some decent accuracy. Is this the ideal avatar for us? And assuming their first day experience goes well, whether you close them after class 1 or you close them after a week of classes or 2 weeks or whatever you do, 30 days for $3, whatever promo you're running, assuming all that goes well, are they ready to commit to the membership? So you have to anticipate. That's like when it goes back to, well, where are you working out previously or currently? Nowhere. Oh, okay. Are you looking for a gym membership? Great. When are you looking to join one by? Think and that question right there. How many of you, I can't see the chat, but if you were to raise your hands in the chat or say, when was the last time you asked a prospect, when are you looking to join a gym by? I don't know about you guys. Has anyone ever bought a home? I guarantee you the guy, the real estate agent asked you, well, when are you looking to move into your new home by? He's able to now project, are you just casually looking? Are you a looky-loo? Or are you like I sold my house already, and their due diligence ends in 60 days. I need to be in my house ASAP. So ask these questions. Which membership option is best for their schedule and their budget? This is where in lead nurture, I am a huge fan of discussing pricing all the time in the text and chat. I need Sally to understand what this price point is. What is she willing to invest in herself? I don't want to go through hours of lead nurture, a week long, of a free trial class or a 30-minute consultation or whatever your process is. And then all of a sudden Sally tells me, oh yeah, $200 a month. Yeah, I was thinking 40. Well, I should have known that because if I would have asked, Sally would have told me I worked out at 24/7 Fitness and it was $40 a month. Awesome. So are you looking for that kind of gym? Or are you looking for a more intimate, but more expensive, like boutique coach-led class? Because that's definitely what we offer here, Sally. And I can instantly predict and anticipate these moves. When you're like, oh my God, she totally threw me for a loop. I had no idea she's gonna have such a problem with the price. I call BS. You did not ask the right questions. You didn't stick to that 80-20. You probably talked 80% of the time when really you should have been asking 80% of the questions, letting her talk. All right. So at the very bottom here, this cannot be understated. The goal here is to get all the objections out of the way. So what are all the big objections? Schedule, price, location, and convenience, right? I don't want, like, it's not for me. Like, I got to talk to my husband. I got to talk to my dog, whatever it is. You talk about these things. Like, great, cool. So will you be joining with your husband or significant other? Like, oh no, he goes to the YMCA. He works out there by himself. Awesome. Well, are you guys both planning just working out at separate gyms, or would you like him to come with you? So that way, if you enjoy the gym and whatever, you guys can make a decision on this. No, he's going to be cool with it either way. Right. Like, we don't generally see a lot of those spousal objections anymore these days. Back in the day, again, when I grew up, men felt a certain way about their wife going to a gym where this trainer was going to train them in a group set. I'm not joking. This was a real thing. I would have husbands just come through in consultations back in the day to make sure we weren't going to try to hit on his wife or something. That was like a legit thing. We had to train our salespeople. Deliver. This is the easy part. You guys probably do this part very well. Delivering an experience that goes beyond the prospect's expectation. The reason on my content that people maybe give me a little bit of grief for, Stu, you say that coaching, community, and programming don't mean anything. It doesn't, in the sense that that's what's expected. My vision of customer service is above that C-level line. So I go visit a gym, and Jim's like, dude, you see what great that class was? The programming was in line, the coaching was in line, the community was cool afterwards. I'm like, bro, I can't even see it. It's so far below. It's the bottom. That's a D-. My belief in customer experience and delivering is going above what the customer expects. Again, you always use the joke, like American Airlines to come, like, we landed that plane pretty damn good. Nobody died. And like, you better you better land that plane good, right? The Marriott's not like, hey man, no bed bugs in your bed last night, huh? Pretty impressive. I'm like, no, that's the bare minimum. So here's the couple ways to do this. Some really good tactics for you guys. Number one, get the entire staff involved. On the day a lead is becoming a prospect, meaning they're coming in to try your trial thing, you on Slack, Facebook group, text message, whatever it is, any staff that's going to be there that day knows essentially the description of the individual, right? Their name, relative information. They're a Steelers fan, like Goose, right? So like if at Urban Movement, my micro gym, someone previously would have told me like, hey, Goose is coming in and he just moved here from Pittsburgh. He's a Steelers fan. He's coming to the 4:30 p.m. class. I might not even be coaching that 4:30 p.m. class, but I'm walking down the hallways and I see a guy. I'm like, hey, are you Goose? Are you the new guy here trying out class today? Oh man, what's up? I'm Stu. I'm from Cleveland. I'm a Browns guy. All right. So we're already stepping off to a bad foot, man, but I'm actually going to be in class with you today. I'm not working. I'm not coaching, but very nice to meet you. Is there anything I can answer for you to show you around? Instantly, he's like, I've been here 30 seconds. And this dude who I've never met, I wasn't even talking to him in the CRM with the text or the emails or the phone call, knows my name, knows I'm from Pittsburgh. I kind of feel at home. You ever go to a party with your girlfriend or significant other and they don't really introduce you to anybody and you got to kind of fend for yourself to make a conversation with someone versus when you go to a party and there's another friend group that you're not a part of, like, yo, this is my boy Stu. He's in the fitness industry. He's got a kid, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. He's got stupid red hair. And like, he introduces me and now I've got some ground to stand. I feel more comfortable versus having to create my own way. When a prospective member comes into your gym the first time and you don't really take that extra step, and now they have to go over the shirtless people who are very strong and fit and try to make friends in the playground, tough gig. I'm telling you, you've already put the sale, you've really put yourself in a bad position for that sale. Ensure the coaching instructions and delivery are thoughtful with their past experience. If Sally comes in to prospectively try out your gym and she told you that at the previous location, the coaches never did X, Y, or Z with her and that upset her, the person doing the lead nurturing needs to pass it down to the coaches, especially the ones who are coaching her class that day, and explain that to her so they can overcome that issue live in real time and make her realize this place does it different. And then assume the sale. So Sally, assuming you love it, which I know you will, are you still looking at that 12 times a month membership that we discussed via text message? I know you said with your school and all things like that, you probably only be able to come 3 days a week. Is that still kind of what we're thinking? I'm asking her right then and there as a prospect. We already talked about pricing in the lead nurture, but I'm asking her as a prospect when she's in my gym, like, so are we still thinking of 12 times a month? Oh, great. Awesome. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have the iPad ready for you once you get done with class. Okay. And if you love it, which I know you will, Coach Goose is phenomenal. He's great. You're going to love his class. I'll have everything set up. So all you got to do is pop in your information, swipe your card, and you're good to go. We'll get you on with the rest of your day. So I'm assuming the sale. Now she could go ahead and say, actually, Stu, I'm also trying out a few other gyms right now. And I'm just, okay, fair enough. But now I at least understand that. And I don't get all worked up and then, just have that depressing just crash at the very end when I'm supposed to be closing her. Now, when it comes to lead nurturing, and Grow is a great example of a product of this, it has a lot of opportunity for you to automate things, which can be extremely helpful. I don't know how many like solo dolo kind of operators we have here where it's like, it's me and a couple part-timers. My wife or spouse helps out sometimes, but I'm wearing every hat, Stu. Especially in those scenarios where you have to coach class and you don't have extra staff to operate the CRM or the front desk and things like that, the automation really does come in handy. However, I don't want you to lean on it. I don't want your brand, in which one of its few superpowers as a small business owner is the personal touch we can give to a customer. Orange Theory and F45 can never give as personalized of a touch as your local micro gym because they have too many people to touch. It's just a numbers game. So humans over robots. With Grow, you guys can create drip campaigns, automation messages that go out, and I'm all for all these things. I'm all for them when staff is unavailable, it's after hours or before you open up, or it's like basic instructions, right? You guys all got an automated message probably reminding you about this webinar today. That is something that should be automated, okay? When you guys schedule in your, campaign, all right, the day of their class is at 12, they're coming to. So at 9 a.m., we're going to send them a reminder. At 10 a.m., we're going to hit them with parking lot instructions because the parking lot can get a little crazy in the afternoon. And reminders of you can wear comfortable workout clothes, bring a bottle of water. And then, maybe the third one, which is what I'd recommend. Hey, reminder, I know we discussed which membership option was best for you, but here's another link to our current schedule and pricing so you have an idea as to which one best fits you. So if you decide to join at the end of the class, we can get you back on, we can get you going quick, we can get you out of here quickly and on with the rest of your day. This whole getting you out of here quickly and on with the rest of your day, very, very efficient. Like that's what people want. They don't want to hang out and spend 20 minutes filling out a contract. They want to be like, yep, I'm in. Here's my card. Like think about it. You go to any store, you give anyone the card. You don't want that transaction taking a long time. You want to give them the card and get out. Last time you bought a car, you were so pissed that you were in that finance office for 2 hours trying to buy a car. It was just a long, drawn out process. You love now when the waitress comes up to you and you're like, hey, can we get the bill? And she just pulls up that toast machine, right? And just pulls up the bill right there, turns it, you sign it right there, you swipe the card and you go. Speed is money. So you can be talking about wanting to know, hey, is that still the membership option you're looking at? Or here's another link to our membership pricing and schedule so that I can get you out of here with speed because you're a busy person and I'm not trying to take up time of your day. Okay, that's how we need to be thinking about it. These are good places for automation. All right. There are bad places for automation. I'm going to minimize our faces here real quick. So this is an example mock letter of what poor automation looks like. How many of you have an automated email that goes out to somebody as soon as they fill out a lead form that looks like a tiny little blog. This
way too long.
Way too long. Way too long. I mean, my mother could send me this at 5 a.m. in the morning and I wouldn't read it. I'd be like, it's 5 a.m. Something must be wrong with Susan. I'm not reading that shit. That's way too long. Like again, we are busy humans. You think everyone wants to read about this, about your business and this and where to park here and what to wear. And this is why we're unique. And these are our intervals and we have WODs and they don't care, nor should they. They're still a lead at this point. They're coming in hopefully to become a prospect and hopefully become a customer, but we want to keep it very short and sweet. The fastest way to close somebody is to talk to them in the same manner and layman's strategy as you would your friends and family. So it should look like this instead. Email number 1 right here. Damn it, Stuart. Here we go. Welcome to our movement. Hey, Sally, got your message to the website. Would love to learn more about you. What are you looking to do with your body and fitness? Number 1, what am I doing? I'm asking questions. That means I'm learning. That means I'm in control of the situation. Okay. She's answering. All right. Remember, if we want her to talk 80% of the time, that means that 20% that I'm talking is question based. Right. Second email. That's awesome. We actually have several members training for that exact same race. So you're in good company. What days and times do you prefer to work out? Just one at a time. Now, let me ask you this. This is going to result in a lot of emails back and forth. You guys know how the world works today. Is it more likely for Sally to answer these back one at a time, nice and quick, or for her to read that 233 word, mantra you sent her previously and have to sit there and answer all the questions right then and there? This is not only faster for responses, it's more indicative of how a conversation would go. Question, answer, question, answer. It's this nice, eloquent dance we're doing, okay? And this doesn't feel salesy. This feels like communication. Communication that feels salesy only feels salesy because it doesn't feel like authentic communication. Trust me, Sally, I get it. I'm not a morning person either. Emoji. Prospects love fucking emojis. Okay. So use emojis. How about this Tuesday at 4:45 p.m.? Would love to meet you IRL in real life. Use slang and jargon. You're not a Fortune 500 company. From the desk of founder Stu Brauer, I would love to know when you'd like to come in to meet my acquaintance. Guys, get out of here. You know how it is when people are in your gym. You're laid back. You're fun with them. And that's what they like. Make this the same way. I watch you guys. You guys completely obsess over these email drip campaigns and you sound nothing like how you sound in real life. You want it to be like this amazing, there's something you turn in college type paper. That's not how you sound. That's not your brand's tone and voice. So make it your brand's tone and voice. I'd like to meet you in real life, give you a tour and explain the ins and outs of our program. I didn't talk about the science of it or any of that stuff, the ins and outs. Simple enough. Then you can hit our 5 p.m. lift and move class. Sound good? With an obnoxious amount of question marks? This is how people actually communicate. Your lead nurture will be far more successful in extracting information digitally, which you want to do because you don't want to wait till they come in this manner. Even those of you guys who do PT first or do consultations, like 30-minute consultations because you're selling personal training packages first, you still want this to be your lead nurture scheme. Same thing here with text message communication. If you're using your Grow or your CRM for text message, this is what it should look like. Very conversational. This is reminiscent of how you and your friends text. Okay. I'm not going to read through all these. You guys can see the screen, but make sure it's very much back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. All right. Questions, they give answers. That's it. All right. And you should have somewhere, the nice thing about with Push Press and the integration of Grow, you guys have great sections where you can take notes on prospects and leads. That way, if you start and your employee or another coach has to step in. So let's say I started the process and me and Gavin both work at the gym. And I'm like, hey, Gavin, I'm coaching the next class, man. But I've got Sally on here. We're kind of going back and forth about some stuff. Would you be able to pop in? He's like, yeah, sure. He can pop in, read the notes about her, see the previous conversation. He can pick up right where I left off, and Sally is none the wiser. Right? There's been no interruption. She's able to continue to provide information and extract information from us. Getting ghosted. All right. So this is one, everyone who gets a CRM goes, well, what do I do about people who ghost? So the rule is and I'm using the more PC version, but until they die by or tell you to stop, right? Stop is the universal text message. You guys get spammed right now. You go capital letter stop. That is the universal cease and desist. The robot recognizes that and takes you off the list. I wish email could do that. You have to click the stupid unsubscribe button at the bottom of an email. Very inefficient. But text message is super quick. All right. Notice how even when they said stop, look at the next one. Like, even though we can make that a canned response, because obviously there's not much use then at that point and that's doing something hyper personalized. Notice it didn't say, no problem, you've been unsubscribed from further text messages. That's what a robot would say. That over there is exactly how we did it at Urban. Not a problem. Please let us know if there's ever anything we can do. We can make fitness recommendations to other local studios all the time if there's something different you're looking for. Hope you have a great weekend or great week, whatever it is. So even our canned automated responses still felt like the brand. They still felt like they were dealing with a person. Now, let's just go ahead. The very first line on this slide, leads and prospects will ghost you often. Often. There's nothing you're going to do about it. And here's the deal, though. A lot of you don't like being salesy and slimy, nor do I. Okay. However, if someone gives you their contact information and they're not responding to you, I believe as the business, you have full permission to continue to reach out at some level of frequency until they tell you to stop. And the reason is because there's 86,400 seconds in a day. The odds are that the time in which you text them or email them or called them and they had a free moment is slim and none. We announced this webinar like 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. You guys all knew, and again, obviously different time zones and things, but like there's probably hundreds of people that could not attend this webinar because of a class, an appointment, their kid threw up, whatever it is. Time is so precious and it's not guaranteed. And how many of you got the new iPhone, or I bet you Android already did this years ago, but iPhones now allow you to mark text messages as unread, right? Otherwise you just had to leave it there unread. When you'd read it, like, oh, I'll get back to that later. And you never would, right? It would just get lost in your text message inbox. Well, now you can keep it marked as unread so you can come back to it later, which is really nice. But you've got to realize when they don't respond back to you, it is not them saying, I'm not interested. They will tell you, I'm not interested, or you directly ask as you're hitting them up, are you still interested? So you see the second message. Are you still looking to get in an awesome workout? Are you still looking to join a gym? Are you still looking to lose that 10 pounds you mentioned in the intake form? You can ask that question until they tell you to stop, because there's going to be a moment in time in that 86,400 seconds, one day, it's a week from now, a month from now, 4 months from now, where you are going to follow back up and it's the right time. They just got that raise and they have the money, or their boyfriend just broke up with them and they're feeling shitty, or they're, they just finally got their house unpacked because when they originally reached out for you, they had the best intentions, but they had just moved and they're finally getting their life settled down. Like, you don't know what's going on. So rule of thumb, follow up always until they die by or tell you to stop. Yeah. All right,
Awesome.
guys, I want to get into more specifics, like how often should I follow up, things like that. But a lot of that's very variable. So I'd love if any of you guys have Q&A and questions like, okay, what frequency should I do it on this scenario? And I could give you very specific kind of answers.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Q&A, throw it in the Q&A element, not the chat. Because some of those chats are coming to just us as the panelists. Thanks, Stu. That was awesome. Lots of good stuff to dig into. So if you have like specific scenarios or a couple of things that Stu touched on that you want to go back to, I know Victoria's got a question about what are the response to somebody that says it's too out of my budget, too expensive. Like what would be the response to that, Stu, for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, you've obviously shown a price and be like, hey, we have a 165, a 185, and a 205. Let's just say you had frequency-based pricing, 3 different options, and 8 times a week or 8 times a month at 12 and unlimited. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, that's way too out of my budget. Like, listen, I apologize. Mm-hmm. However, I do recommend, and you should in your back pocket, you should have some colleagues in your network that are less expensive. Burn Boot Camp was one of mine. Burn Boot Camp was like $59 a month in Charlotte. So I could refer people there that couldn't afford our cheapest membership, which was $165. So I know, do I have a magic bullet for you to like all of a sudden like say to her, she's like, oh my God, I can totally afford that because he rationalized it because 7 Hershey bars and me going out and getting cappuccinos actually equals this. None of that shit works. Trust me. I've taught the sleaziest sales tactics in the world when I worked for Globo Gym. They don't actually work. All it does is it gives the salesman a little bit more confidence to hang into the conversation longer.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Just tell them, go down, itch the back of somebody that's, make a good friend with a lower valued product potentially, as at least premium is lower. So
absolutely.
And they may send some people over to you. You never know. And they are definitely, I look at competitors not as competitors, but more as feeders, especially.
Correct.
Like there's a lot that can come through the door from other people.
And the thing is that word that for Victoria, that should never happen face to face. If that came out face to face, you did not do your job in lead nurture learning. Great. Awesome. So have you had a chance to look at our schedule and membership pricing? Yeah, I did. I saw the link. Thank you. Great. Which one of those options best looks like it would fit your schedule and your budget?
Right.
Well, that's when you learn. So you might be able to just offset that right there. Now you're not wasting a prospective class spot for Sally, who's not a good avatar customer for you. You're just out of her price point.
And if they just blow it and they say, the price is too expensive after all that, it's like, well, maybe they're not a good fit and they're going to probably churn anyways and go away.
I always advocate a max of 2 prospects per class. I promise you cannot provide a great client experience to more than 2 brand new people per class. So I covet those. So if I had a 24-person cap, that means we stop 22 people at sign up. So that way I always have my 2 in the hole, right? I could put 2 prospects in there.
Yep.
But let's say I have both of them in there and they both waste my time and they're like, oh, this is way too expensive. And then I'm looking at my GM or my sales, whoever's doing it, I'm like, show me where you asked them and talked about pricing beforehand. And if they can't, I was not the happiest owner that day. Very simple. That's our job in lead nurture. Get all the objections out of the way.
Amy says, what do you send them for price increase? So like if somebody comes to the website, I assume Amy's kind of asking about, I know with Grow, we do a rate form on the pricing form on the website. They fill that out. Amy, I think you're saying what's in that first message. I know we do kind of a text and email option for that.
You mean like as a lead magnet, Gavin?
Yeah. Basically, they come through that form. They get put into a specific workflow that then has messaging that's automated. I will say the pricing email sometimes is more lengthy, but we do more of like a variation of the low end versus high end. You don't need to put all, in my mind, every single option you have. Give them kind of what you offer, and then also a variable from low end to high end pricing, so they can kind of gauge that. But what do you think, Stu?
So when it comes to pricing, so I, for years, like 8 years, whatever it was, I had pricing on the website. And mainly because in the way it is now market, whether you're in like a tier 1 market or a tier 3 market in the US, all boutique pricing is pretty globally priced. It's pretty close. Okay. So previously, when I got into CrossFit in 2006, that was a very scary time to say you were $125 a month back then was crazy expensive because everything was $30 a month, Globo Gym style. Yeah. That's not the case anymore. Like peak Globo Gyms are no longer your competition. It's just other boutiques, other micro gyms. So it's pretty universal, but I switched that. 8-9 years in, we went to a lead magnet where you went to our pricing page and the first line, and please steal this. Talk is cheap. We are not. We are not the cheapest gym in town, and we are proud of that. In fact, we're able to customize any membership for whatever frequency best fits your schedule. So put in your name, email, and phone number and hit us up and let us know how many days a week or per month you're looking to come to the gym. I had an 8, a 12, and a 16 times a month, which is what we called our unlimited. I would create a 7 times a month if I needed to, because I knew mathematically, I knew how much revenue, ARPC, average revenue per person per class. I knew how much I needed to make. So my staff knew instantly. If someone's like, hey, I need a 7 times a month membership, they could instantly make one. Just put it in our system. We're not going to advertise it, but we presented as we can customize this. And so the lead magnet got us in the conversation with the human. Now, if you're going to just have static pricing at just these 3 or 4 options, whatever it is, that should be sent to them very soon within your drip campaign. Awesome. Great. If lead into them, what is your schedule? What have you had a chance to look at our schedule and pricing? If not, check them out here. Here's our options. Which one of those options best looks like it would fit your schedule and budget? That's how I'd do it.
So got a couple of people. I think Marlo said repeat that. I just kind of about the sounds. Oh, JK, gotcha, Marlo. Sounds good. Kevin says email versus text. To me, email seems out nowadays. I would say definitely that it's not. I think it gets lost definitely. And going back to it though, I use email still a lot with my clients here at Push Press, and it depends on the. I think going back to Stu's length of the email, how long is it? Is it going to be read? If people aren't opening your emails or getting back to you via that, maybe it's the how big it is and how lengthy.
Yeah, and
But
we also
I
just
still
say,
think
we also just say doesn't matter, do both.
do both.
You always do all
check
three.
both.
You always text, email, and phone call, no matter what. Always text, email, phone call, no
Yeah, a lot of
matter
people
what.
don't call. I know I've talked to a lot of people. If you have the resources, or you can set tasks up in a lot of CRMs to call at a certain point. Initially, obviously, if you're working, doing your classes, teaching, you're not gonna be able to call right in the first 10 minutes, but you can have a task set for yourself.
You guys got the other forms of method of communication, set up another form of communication. So you've emailed, she ghosted, she hasn't responded. You texted, she ghosted, she didn't respond. You call. After, let's say, so you emailed on day 1, you texted on day 2, you call on day 3, she doesn't answer. Nobody answers the phone anymore, and you know that. But what does that phone call now allow you to do? Leave a voicemail. Hey, by the way, also, you know what I'll do? I'll go ahead and follow up another text message with you right now. It's probably easier for you to maybe do it that way. And I'll reach you out over there and hope to speak to you soon. Click, go to your CRM. Hey, Sally, just left you a voicemail, but wanted to make sure I followed up with a text message as well. So with the one form that you knew at the lowest likelihood of reaching allows you to kick back over with kind of an excuse. Hey, whatever. So you always get to use just shot you over another email about kind of a little bit more of the kind of workout. Some of you guys might have really good drip campaigns inside of Grow, like emails that educate them about your unique belief in fitness. Let them know, when that one email is going to go. It's like, what makes us different than the boutique studio down the street, or how we're different than Orange Theory, or whatever your title of your blog is. It hits them. The next day, you're able to come back into a text and be like, hey, shot you over that email yesterday, kind of going over some differences of what we've got going on with our workout style. Do you have any questions on that? You see how one sets you up for the other. You're just playing fucking 3-card Monty the whole damn time. And until they die, buyer tell you to stop.
And if you don't like doing calls, you can do voice memos too. Those aren't bad. Like you can do that, or short videos. I know the realtors do that. Short video of like 30 seconds. Sorry, my dogs. Send it to them. Grow does allow for that, to be able to send over a video. We got
That's a huge plus. What Gavin just said there, huge, guys. You send an audio message or a video message, I promise your competitors are not. It will stand out.
They'll listen to it because they don't have to talk to you, because they might be introverted or something, or they don't want to talk to somebody, a salesperson, so they can be like, oh, he's chill, he's cool, he's chill.
Yep.
Let's see here. Pricing through social media. Do you throw it out in DMs, I assume, and stuff like that? Yeah, I mean, you can certainly set up and Grow in some CRMs now. We can create DMs that go back out with pricing information. Again, I think it goes back to that acronym: learn first. Social media, there's a lot of just people just kind of making conversations. So you got to vet them out a little bit.
And no one wants to look bad in the comment section. I understand what you're saying. Like, so you make a post about you have an awesome gym, like, cool, what's the price? And you're like, well, I don't want to maybe do it publicly in front of everyone. Number one, you should always not care. So what you do is arrange. So if it was me, I'd say, I'd reply back to that comment. I'd be like, absolutely. So again, it's always acknowledge, respond, pivot is what we do in sales. We acknowledge the question. Oh, awesome. So you just want to know pricing? Not a problem. Respond. Our pricing ranges from $165 a month up to $205 per month. However, we're able to customize it based on your desired frequency of attendance. So it can kind of be essentially what you need. Well, I'm going to shoot you a DM to learn a little bit more about what you're looking for, and I can get you a more specific price. Acknowledge, respond, pivot.
Love it. Jacqueline just said, Grow can DM, auto DM back social media. Yes, it can, Jackie. It's pretty cool. Or Jacqueline, excuse me. Last one, we're gonna go with Austin. Last question of the day, and then I do have an offer for you guys if you are not actually using email drip campaigns. So stick around for that if you aren't on Grow. But Austin says, keep reading and hearing about drip campaigns are a must. Yep, hitting the wall on content, approaching, creating. So, you know, you want to pick a product that obviously has some flows and something that's already maybe built, which is something that Grow and a lot of the CRMs do have based on the industry that you're in. So a lot of times you don't have to build it from scratch. You can, but it's definitely worth looking into products that have something that's already pre-built that you can then kind of go in and just reword and customize.
Real quick on that one, what I would say, guys, is on the emails, yes, what he's talking about is copywriting an email. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
gotcha.
that's very difficult. Like what to write in the emails.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. ChatGPT, phenomenal to get you started. Chat for someone who's not good at, and if you're not familiar with ChatGPT, go to openai.com, create an account. ChatGPT is free. It essentially, you type into a chat window, hey, hey, computer, write me a 400-word email that introduces someone to my gym, which is called Urban Movement, and explains to them why tempo training is a very efficient way of working out. You hit enter, and within about 10 seconds, the robot has scraped the internet of everything they have to do with urban movement and tempo training and write you a 400-word email. And the first time you see it, it will blow your mind and then it'll scare you because the robots are going to take over and kill us all. It's a foregone conclusion. So there's one way if you're not good at writing. Otherwise, hire a copywriter. I mean,
Yeah.
I always recommend Creative Matters. There's other forums that I recommend, but there are copywriters specifically in the fitness industry to sit down with you and learn, okay, how many emails are we looking for in a sequence? What do you want email 1 to say, 2 to say, 3 to say, 4? Cool. What tone is your brand in? What kind of language do you use? What are the important things? So, but it is very hard. If you're not naturally gifted at writing, I do understand it. That's something, unfortunately, just like you're probably not gifted at taxes and IRS tax code, you hire out for that.
Right, exactly. There you go. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and before I let you all get on with your day, so we at PushStart, obviously we mentioned it a few times on this actual webinar. So I basically wanted to give you guys the option to book a demo. This is just a call to action. Obviously, this is a push press webinar. So I want to give you the option to book a call and demo with our team, and anyone that's a participant or signed up for this webinar and views it will be able to get the setup fee completely waived, which is a value of $6.99. You get a website with this that's totally optimized, modern for your desktop and mobile. There are optimized for SEO, so it can track the keywords that you're looking for in your area, and that all filters into this automated CRM Grow, which is everything that has the complete capability that Stu mentioned and more, even things we didn't get into today. But it does have a lot of content and cadences that are already pre-built for you all to kind of customize and change. And then we have a full staff that onboards you as well. And I'm obviously on the success team, and you'll have a rep after you're done with onboarding to help you continue on for any, if you watch Stu's previous webinar about what was it, annual planning and building nutrition. Oh no, it's the holiday, building nutrition and holiday kind of campaigns and stuff for the year. So there's lots of ability with the CRM based on your customization and what you need for your gym. So sky's the limit with Grow. And this is a great way, if you don't have something like this, get started with it with us and see how it works for you. It does feed into your core PushPress account too. So if you have a core account with us, it will actually talk back and forth with that system, which is really cool. So I will put that in quickly to the chat here. Here's a link for that.
If I could put it this way for the CRM guys,
go ahead.
I would say that having Grow as a CRM is essentially the equivalent of a $40,000 employee per year. The amount of work that gets done, it is equivalent to a $40,000 employee to manage communications. I know because I paid $40,000 a year for someone to manage communications, and that's what it can do.
Learn the hard way.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. I learned the pre CRM way, and so I would recommend at least taking a look at it. It's incredible how quickly it allows you to leverage so much of your money. Is literally it's like right here. It's like right in front of your face, but you guys miss it because it falls through the cracks. Missed clients, leads that came in, people that you didn't follow up with, missed members that have canceled in the past 6 months. it's definitely worth taking a look at if you're not using a CRM.
Yep. And if we can waive that setup fee, gets you guys set up without having to spend a bunch up front. So do take advantage of that. Austin, great to hear that. That's awesome. And Victoria also saying she agrees with you on that, Stu. So thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us today. Another webinar. We'll have another one in February, and look for that as we kind of push it out. The recording will be put on PushStart on the Thinkific webinar, so you guys can access that. We'll have the slide deck as well there, so you guys can refer back to it. But thanks, Stu. I appreciate you as always. You guys have
Gavin, always a pleasure,
Wednesday.
brother.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.